This is the Dive Into Discovery podcast, where curiosity meets insight, and every conversation uncovers a new layer of understanding.
Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Excellent.
Oh.
Today, we're going way back in time,
Way back.
millions of years, to look at this debate around some very special skulls.
Very special skulls indeed.
The Tung Baby Skulls.
Yeah.
Now, in 1924,
1924.
quarry workers in South Africa made an incredible discovery, really.
Incredible.
This was the Tung child skull, a 2.8 to 2 million year old fossil.
It really shook up the scientific world.
It really did.
Big time.
Now, this child belonged to the species Australopithecus africanus,
Yes.
an early hominin.
Right, with kind of a fascinating mix of
Mix of ape-like
ape-like and human-like.
features.
Yeah, so like a smaller brain case, but a little more human-like facial structure.
So kind of in between.
Yeah.
Walking upright like us, but with smaller brains.
Exactly.
It's like peeking into this pivotal chapter of our own story.
Yeah, pivotal chapter of our evolutionary story, for sure.
And what makes the Tung baby skulls even more intriguing
More intriguing.
is that they have these strange puncture marks.
Yeah, these marks have sparked a debate that has been raging for decades.
Okay, so what are we talking here?
So were these Australopithecus africanus infants victims of giant predatory birds?
Hold on, giant birds.
Or could the damage be the result of something much more unsettling? Violence.
Violence.
Perhaps even within their own species.
Okay, so giant birds, infanticide.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to hear a lot more about this.
Yeah, so let's start by setting the scene.
Okay.
Southern Africa, millions of years ago.
Okay.
Landscape is vastly different
Okay.
from what we see today.
Right.
And these early hominins are living in a world
Living in a world.
teeming with predators, large cats, hyenas.
Right. Not exactly a walk in the park.
Not at all. And remember, Australopithecus africanus, while bipedal, weren't at the top of the food chain.
Right. So they would have been vulnerable.
Vulnerable to a range of predators.
Especially the infants.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, let's take a closer look at those puncture marks.
Okay, so Raymond Dart,
Raymond Dart.
the anatomist who first identified the Tung child,
Yes.
he had this rather startling theory.
Okay, he believed.
He believed that the marks were consistent with the talons
Alan's full one.
of large birds of prey, these powerful eagles swooping down and snatching these infants,
Really?
possibly even from the trees.
Wow. So this is like a prehistoric thriller unfolding before our eyes.
I know, right?
But is there any actual evidence to back this up?
There is. Researchers have compared the damage on the Tung baby skulls to the talon marks left by modern eagles that prey on small preymates.
Wow. So these are like eagles that are large and powerful enough to carry off a small child?
That's right.
That's terrifying.
It does paint a rather dramatic picture,
It does.
doesn't it? And it gets even more interesting
Even more interesting.
when we consider the nest hypothesis.
The nest hypothesis.
Some researchers believe that the eagles may have carried their prey
Carry their prey
back to their nests,
to their nests.
which could explain why the Tung baby skulls
Oh, so like nests
were found.
full of baby hominin bones.
Yeah,
That's fascinating, but also a little bit creepy.
I know.
But remember, you said this is just one side.
One side of the debate.
There's another side, the darker theory that we need to explore.
Yeah, this is a
But-
possibility of violence within these early hominin groups.
You're talking about cannibalism or infanticide?
Yeah, we're venturing into some pretty unsettling territory here.
We are.
But while there isn't direct evidence of cannibalism at the Tung baby site, infanticide
Infanticide.
is a real possibility.
Okay.
This behavior, observed in some primate species today, is often linked to dominance struggles or resource competition.
Resource competition.
Imagine if these early hominin groups were facing similar pressures.
Wow. So if this theory holds true,
Yeah.
it completely changes our understanding of early hominin societies,
It really does.
suggesting a level of complexity and maybe even brutality that we might not expect.
Yeah, exactly.
But before we get too carried away with either theory, we need to consider something crucial.
Something crucial.
Taphonomy.
Taphonomy.
Taphonomy. What is that?
So taphonomy is the study of what happens to remains after death.
After death.
So this field helps us understand how bones can be modified over time by natural processes,
Natural processes.
other animals,
Other animals.
and even human interference.
Okay, so for example,
Water.
predation the cause of death for these infants?
You're right.
Or did it happen After they die.
After they died from other causes.
From other causes.
Could other predators, like leopards or hyenas, have scavenged the remains?
So it's like a forensic investigation.
Yeah.
But millions of years in the making.
Exactly.
It makes you realize that we're dealing with a very limited fossil record.
Very limited.
And interpreting these clues requires a lot of careful consideration.
Absolutely.
We can't just jump to conclusions.
No.
And that's what makes the Tung Baby Skulls such a captivating mystery.
Captivating.
We're piecing together fragments of evidence, trying to reconstruct events from this distant past.
I know.
And as we delve deeper, we're going to uncover even more layers to this prehistoric puzzle.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, I am officially hooked.
Hooked.
We've got giant eagles.
Yeah.
Maybe even nests full of baby hominin bones.
Yeah.
And then we throw in the possibility of violence within these early groups. So what's next? Are we going to talk about, like, the high-tech methods being used to analyze?
Yeah. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore the latest scientific research, including CT scanning and DNA analysis, that's shedding new light on this ancient mystery.
This is already blowing my mind.
Blowing your mind.
And I can't wait to hear more.
Stay with us.
Okay.
We're just getting started.
Okay.
So we've laid out these two main theories for these tongue baby skull punctures.
Right. Giant birds.
Giant birds, or something more sinister.
Yeah.
But these skulls aren't just isolated curiosities.
Right.
They fit into this much larger story.
Larger story.
About human evolution and our place in the world.
Okay, so I'm ready to kind of like zoom out a bit.
Okay.
What are some of the broader implications of this whole debate?
Well, for starters,
okay,
these skulls force us to consider the vulnerability of our early ancestors.
Yeah.
These infants with their still developing brains would have been susceptible to
all sorts of dangers.
All sorts of dangers, yeah.
I mean, it's easy to forget.
It is.
That for most of our evolutionary history, humans weren't the apex predators we are today.
No. Right. And that vulnerability would have had a profound impact on their social behavior and the development of parental care strategies. Imagine like the constant vigilance required to protect their young from predators like eagles or big cats.
I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
I know, right?
It's hard enough keeping track of kids in a safe, modern environment.
Exactly.
Let alone like a prehistoric savannah.
Prehistoric savannah.
Teeming with danger.
Absolutely. And that brings us to another fascinating piece of this puzzle, brain size.
Brain size, okay.
Australopithecus africanus had larger brains than earlier hominins, but they were still significantly smaller.
Smaller?
Than errors.
Right. So how might that smaller brain size have affected their vulnerability?
Well, there's a growing body of research suggesting that brain size is linked to cognitive abilities.
Okay.
Like problem solving, planning, social intelligence.
Yeah.
If these infants had less developed cognitive abilities, they might have been less adept at recognizing danger or escaping from predators.
It's mind-boggling to think that these tiny skulls hold clues.
I know.
To the evolution of our intelligence.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what would those infants have been capable of?
Yeah.
If they had survived.
If they survived for adulthood.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of paleoanthropology.
It allows us to connect with our deep past and ponder the lives of those who came before us.
Yeah.
But it's not just about reflecting on the past.
Right.
Scientists are using some pretty high-tech methods.
To
analyze these skulls, bringing cutting-edge technology to fossils that are millions of years old.
Wow. So what kind of insights are they hoping to gain from these analyses?
Oh, for one thing, they're hoping to get a clearer picture. Of the forces involved in creating those puncture marks. Was it the crushing grip of a giant eagle's talons?
Right.
Or could it have been something else entirely?
Yeah.
Techniques like CT scanning can help distinguish between different types of trauma.
So it's like a high-stakes forensic investigation.
Exactly.
But instead of a crime scene, they're analyzing fossils.
It's analyzing?
From a prehistoric world.
That's right.
Wow.
And they're also looking at things like tooth wear patterns.
Okay.
Which can provide insights into their diet and how that might have influenced their vulnerability.
Vulnerability
to predators.
To predators.
What did they eat?
Right.
Were they getting enough nutrition to support brain development?
Wow. So it's amazing how much information they can extract from these ancient remains.
Isn't it?
But with all this ongoing research, are we any closer to solving the mystery of the Tung Baby Skulls?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
And honestly, there may not be a definitive answer.
Right.
The fossil record is inherently incomplete.
Okay.
And we're always dealing with a degree of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we should stop searching for answers.
Right.
Each new discovery, each new analysis brings us a little bit closer to understanding the complex tapestry of early hominin life.
So I guess that's the beauty of science.
Yeah.
It's not about having all the answers.
No.
It's about this journey of discovery.
The journey.
This constant pursuit of knowledge.
That's right.
Even if it means embracing ambiguity.
Yeah.
And accepting that some mysteries may never be fully solved.
Exactly. And the Tung Baby Skulls are a perfect example of that.
Yep.
They may never reveal all their secrets.
Right.
But they continue to inspire us to ask new questions and push the boundaries of our understanding of the past.
So what are some of the big unanswered questions that scientists are still grappling with?
Well, one of the most fundamental questions is whether Australopithecus africanus was primarily arboreal.
Arboreal?
Spending most of their time in trees or terrestrial, living mostly on the ground.
Right.
This has huge implications for their vulnerability.
Their vulnerability to
predators.
Right. So if they were spending a lot of time in trees, they might have been more exposed to eagles and other aerial predators.
Right.
But if they were mostly on the ground, they would have been more vulnerable to big cats.
Big cats.
Or other terrestrial hunters.
Exactly. And there's evidence to support both scenarios.
Okay.
Their long arms and curved fingers suggest adaptations for climbing. But their bipedal locomotion and the structure of their feet point toward a more terrestrial lifestyle.
So it's like they were caught between two worlds.
Yeah.
That must have made them incredibly versatile.
But also incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah, and that versatility might have been key to their survival.
Key to their survival.
They could exploit resources from both the trees and the ground, giving them an edge in a constantly changing environment.
Okay.
But also meant they had to be constantly on guard against predators from all angles.
Oh, it sounds exhausting.
I know.
Like those nature documentaries where you see like gazelles constantly scanning for lions. Only in this case, it's our early ancestors.
Right.
Trying to avoid becoming lunch for a giant eagle.
Giant eagle.
Or a saber-toothed cat.
Or a saber-toothed cat.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the potential for violence within their own species.
Within their own.
The infanticide hypothesis is still very much on the table.
So not only were they dealing with these external threats,
but they might have been facing conflict.
And
aggression from within their own ranks.
Exactly. You see, the possibility of infanticide suggests that these early hominins had complex social structures.
Okay.
Potentially influenced by things like resource scarcity or power struggles.
Wow. So it's a sobering reminder that violence is not a uniquely modern phenomenon.
No.
It's been a part of our evolutionary history for millions of years.
And it raises important questions about the origins of social behavior in our lineage.
Okay.
How did cooperation and competition shape our ancestors' lives?
Yeah.
How did they balance the need for individual survival with the demands of group living?
These are some pretty deep questions.
Deep questions.
It's fascinating to think that these tiny, fragile skulls can hold so much information.
So much information.
About our evolutionary past, our deepest fears, even the roots of our own social behavior.
It's a testament to the power of scientific inquiry and the enduring allure of the human story.
The human story.
We're constantly searching for answers, trying to understand where we came from and what it means to be human.
Yeah.
And sometimes the most profound insights come from the most unexpected places.
Right, from these tiny little skulls.
Exactly.
It really makes you wonder if we could travel back in time. And observe these early hominin groups.
Observe them.
What would we actually see?
It's mind-boggling, isn't it? Would we see those terrifying eagle attacks?
Right.
Or maybe like catch a glimpse of those complex social interactions?
It really is like trying to piece together a puzzle.
Yeah.
With only a handful of pieces.
A handful of pieces, yeah.
But despite their small size, these Tung Baby Skulls have become such a powerful symbols. Of this quest to understand the past.
They really have captured the imagination, haven't they?
They have.
Of scientists and the public alike.
Touching on these like really fundamental questions about our origins.
Fundamental questions.
A relationship with nature, the evolution of behavior, the very essence of what it means to be human.
Exactly.
And with all this ongoing research, are we any closer to solving the mystery of the Tung Baby Skulls?
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? But honestly, There may not be a definitive answer.
Right.
The fossil record is incomplete, and we're always dealing with a degree of uncertainty.
Uncertainty.
But that doesn't mean we should stop searching. Each new discovery, each new analysis brings us a little bit closer to understanding this complex tapestry of early hominin life.
So I guess that's the beauty of science, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not about having all the answers.
No.
It's about the journey of discovery, this constant pursuit of knowledge.
Exactly.
And sometimes some mysteries might never be fully solved.
Never fully solved.
But that's okay.
It's okay, that's right.
It's the act of asking these questions, of grappling with the unknown.
The unknown.
That makes the study of human evolution so fascinating.
Endlessly fascinating.
So to our listeners out there, the next time you see a picture of the tongue child, or hear about these Tung Baby Skulls,
these Tung Baby Skulls,
remember, they represent more than just ancient bones.
More than just bones.
They're a window into our deep past.
A window to the past.
A testament to the power of scientific inquiry.
Scientific inquiry.
And a reminder of this enduring mystery of our own origins.
Our origins.
And who knows, maybe one day you'll be the one to uncover a new piece of this incredible puzzle.
To uncover a new piece.
Keep exploring.
Keep exploring.
Keep questioning.
Keep questioning.
And most importantly, never lose that sense of wonder.
Never lose that wonder.
About the world around us.
The world around us.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And until next time, keep those brains buzzing.
What did you think of this week's episode? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to join us next time as we dive even deeper. And as always, stay curious, because you never know what discoveries are just around the corner.